Joining us from CommSec is Tom Piotrowski. Good morning to you, Tom. So after the rate cut that we had yesterday, the ASX 200 has been steadily on the way up. Is that going to continue throughout the day, do you think?
It's a good question, Kenny, and the short answer is yes. So we saw the ASX 200 improve by around 0.6% yesterday, and we can expect a similar improvement this morning as far as the futures are concerned. So one aspect of yesterday's rate cut that really energised the market was that there was evidence that the RBA had discussed the possibility of a 0.5% cut in their deliberations, and that energised economists and market analysts, and in fact it brought forward the horizon for future rate cuts. So that's significant in the context of the thinking in general, because you might recall yesterday in anticipation of the outcome, we spoke about the potential for a hawkish cut, that they would cut but highlight the inflationary risks. And there was less of that, and so the market will be sustained by that at a time when we're seeing anemic growth at home and still seeing headwinds to growth throughout the region, particularly in China. So as far as what we saw in the Northern Hemisphere, European markets were higher, but US markets were lower. In broad terms, you've seen an upswing over the course of the last month for markets, and they're waiting for a catalyst. That was quite evident in US trade. So at one stage, US markets were down in the order of about 1% before trimming those losses towards the end of the session. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq were each down by 0.4%. You had the Dow Jones down by 1/3%. So the sectors that did well last night tended to be healthcare stocks. So there was an important outcome from the US Food and Drug Administration as it relates to vaccine makers, because there's been a recent appointee to head up the vaccine part of the US FDA. There was concern that that individual could be very hawkish on the approach to vaccines, but new guidance last night was optimistic, and that helped vaccine makers higher across the board. So Moderna shares, for example, at one stage we're seeing double-digit improvements, finished with a gain of 6%. Tech leaders were on the outer last night as a theme. So Microsoft lower, Nvidia, Apple, Amazon and Meta all finished lower. The Aussie dollar, 64.2 US cents.
Thanks, Tom. Talk soon.